I love it.
All righty. Hey, YouTube. I'm back with another video, and I have a special guest with me. I have Miss McClinton. Is it Mrs. or Mrs.?
It's Miss. I'm not married.
Not married. Not married.
But you can just call me Marquette and keep it
Or
simple.
Marquette, which is the one. We attended Eastern Illinois University together.
Woo!
Shout out to EIU.
Yeah, you.
And I just wanted to, like I said, highlight different, my people, all my Black people doing so well. And she started this YouTube that I've actually, like I told her before, I watch every Monday, just to have a good week, to start off my week right, to start off my Monday right, because I don't know what it is about Mondays. I can,
Mondays are just rough for everybody.
yes, and I can prepare all day Sunday, but it's
Mm-hmm.
out of control. So once again, thank you so much for doing this. And just let the people know who you are, introduce yourself, where you're from, your credentials, X, Y, and Z, whatever you want to share.
Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So I am a native of Chicago. I grew up, in Chicago, born and raised. I also attended Eastern, as you know, and my background was in education. That's kind of how I started. So I went into Eastern with the mindset of I want to work with kids, and I kind of got that idea from working with my mom. My mom is a teacher. She's actually about to retire this year.
Okay.
And for me, it was kind of like one or two things. My dad was a law enforcement officer. And
Mhm.
so it was either going to law or going to education, because that was kind of what I was exposed to.
Okay.
And so I kind of landed on teaching because after school, which at the time I was in high school, I would go, one block away to my mom's elementary school where she was teaching.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to do. So that's kind of how I fell into education. And that's what I went to school for.
Okay.
But kind of like fast forward, like this kind of passion project is what I'm going to call it, kind of started from me just kind of dealing with anxiety and stress and just trying to really figure out a way to kind of manage and kind of cope, because there is no cure for anxiety. There
Right.
is no cure for depression, right? These things are just what they are. And you
Mhm.
can do things to get better or to feel better, but it doesn't go away. And
Right.
so I wanted to take what I was doing and kind of, open things up to other people. And so that's how I kind of started this YouTube channel. And it was all about finding your inner peace, being a better version of yourself every single day.
Hmm.
And I was really thinking, like, you know what, I can do this. And the way that I started doing this was through positive affirmations. And so,
Hmm.
prayer absolutely is definitely part of it because it's more spiritual. But it
Right.
was really about just speaking things into existence. And there isn't like a negative or a positive. It's just what I like to call high vibration and low vibration. High
Mhm.
vibration meaning you're thinking about positive things, you are envisioning positive things, and knowing that the universe is going to provide that for you. And
Right.
if you're kind of operating in low vibration, that's kind of like negative thoughts, if you will, or things that are not going to make you feel good, and kind of staying away from those things. And I truly believe if you practice that, and it takes time, right?
Right.
Every single day, you will start to feel better. And you're going to notice that positive and good things are going to come to you. So that's kind of the thought behind the YouTube channel. And
Okay.
then I wanted to just kind of share that with the world. So that's what I'm doing.
That is awesome sauce. And I know I appreciate it. When I first saw you posted on Facebook, I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. Especially with, well, now 2021, but with 2019 and 2020, people are mentally drained,
Yes,
especially the Black and Brown community. We was, to me, we was already drained. But,
absolutely.
but it's like 2019 and 2020 just sucked us so dry. And
It
it's
did.
like people still don't understand why we are saying Black Lives Matter. They still not getting it. It's still not
Yep,
in their brain, even though it's on video. It's on video,
absolutely.
you know.
Even though we see this stuff every single day and it's right in front of us, right? Even in
Yep.
the midst of a pandemic, even, and this is what I really can't understand either. It's like this whole thing, all of this stuff that's going on, but there's still some other issues that we have not resolved as a country. We have not figured
Hmm.
this thing out.
Hmm.
We are not seeing the racial injustice. We are not seeing the, inequities that exist within our own communities, right? And so it's this constant like whenever you turn on the news, it's always something. And it's like people need to wake up
Yes.
and see.
Yes.
And then start to figure out, what can I do? What role am I playing in it? And then what can I do to help make things better for people like me, that look like me, for the Black and brown people that are in this world, because it's not going to go away if we don't take that step and start to put things into place.
And put that for absolutely. And then how do you feel about support systems? Because I always tell a lot of my kids and even my parents, we've lost that. It takes a village for us to work. In the 90s and maybe early 2000s, we had that. So we had, if mama went to work, somebody was watching. You always have that old lady across the street. She would tell your mama everything. You went outside, you have
everything.
Everything. Even with the gang babies back in the day, they still had a level of respect. They still walked the old ladies to their doors and carried the groceries. They warned you when it was about to go down.
When it was about to go down, kids off the street, y'all go in the house. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now it's just like it's just reckless. It's no guidance, there's no structure, there's no leadership. Don't get me wrong, gangbanging is wrong. But when they had the leaders there,
things were in order, right?
Absolutely.
Whatever the head does, the body will follow, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I firmly believe. And I do believe that, yes, there was the need, especially like early 90s. I remember when like you couldn't wear certain colors. It was really rough. Mm-hmm. But then you started taking, all the leadership of these gangs, right? Mm-hmm. And you put them in jail, and now these youngins have nothing to follow, right? And so they're claiming things, and I don't even know if they're legit a part of it, right? Because there was a system to this. There were bylaws, there were rules that you had to follow, right? And so when the leadership went, all of that went out the door. But I do believe in community. I do believe in building community. I like to call it my tribe, right? Like we're all a part of the same tribe, the tribe of trying to make things better and be a better version of yourself. And I just wish we can get back to that, because that to me was what it was like growing up. Like it was fun growing up. We were outside and elements. Like we just did life, and we didn't need computers or Facebook or Instagram. Like we were able to just be kids. And these kids nowadays, I feel like they're missing out because they just didn't have that experience that you and I had.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Talk about these cards for me, and like where can people get these cards? I've seen people have the little scratch out ones as well. So how do people get those? Can they choose from different types of cards, like one for just for calming yourself down, to maybe anger management type of stuff?
That's a good one. Yeah. So I use affirmation cards on my YouTube channel, which let me clarify, these are not tarot cards. It's not astrology, right? It's not analyzing the stars. I do reference certain things like numerology. You'll hear me talk about that. I do believe that sometimes the universe will communicate with you through numbers. So if you start to see repetitive numbers like 111, 222, 333, start to pay attention to those things. And that to me is about just raising your awareness, just being aware of what the signs are, right? Even when you're driving down the highway, you'll see something that says caution. Well, it may not be for the road, but maybe you were thinking about something, and then you're like, Lord, send me a sign, and your spirit God opens up and says caution. It's like, trying to get you to just be mindful of, absolutely. Maybe you don't need to go that route or go do that thing that you were thinking about doing. So signs are all around us. I truly believe that. I believe that the universe communicates with us through commercials. You'll be watching a commercial and be like, oh my goodness, I wasn't even thinking about that. And then boom, it'll just come on TV, right? It'll just kind of appear to come out of nowhere. But those are signs. I truly believe that is not happenstance. Those things are what they are. So kind of getting back to the cards. So I actually purchased these cards. I'm going to go pull them in just a second. I purchased these cards from Amazon, but this is what I do when I make any purchase or do anything. I really kind of meditate and I set my attentions on, I want to find something that's going to, that I can use to kind of speak messages to people. And this deck of cards just resonated with me. So I felt the connection to it. And I was kind of able to preview what some of the cards were saying. And I'm like, yes, this is the kind of message that I want to share with people. And so that's where the cards came from. So I'm gonna pull them really quick so we
Okay,
can see what
okay.
they look like.
Oh, that's cool. I'm excited.
All right. So I actually have two sets of cards, but this is the one that you guys probably see on my channel more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Super Attractor, which is already something positive, and it's a 52 card deck, and it's written by an author by the name of Gabrielle Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love her framing in her cards. I love the colors because colors represent things too, right?
Yes.
And so this is essentially what I use. And it's just really positive affirmations. It's really something to kind of help you set your intentions for the upcoming week. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you might be going through something or something might be bubbling up for you. And so I believe that meditation will help with that, meditating on your affirmations. So mm-hmm. I like to read them first thing in the morning and then read it right before I go to bed so that I'm subconsciously kind of going through those positive thoughts in my
Absolutely.
head. And then the next day I will wake up feeling free, feeling lighter, feeling motivated and inspired to do the week and to tackle whatever is ahead of me. Mm-hmm. So that is one that I use on a regular basis. And I normally pull about 4 cards. Okay. And when I pull the cards, something else I started to do is to look at the color scheme because colors represent stuff too. And then I'll kind of speak to that as well. And then this is the other deck that I mostly use too. It's called Power Thought Cards. This is also on Amazon. And it's a 64 card deck, and it's written by an author by the name of Louise Hay. And really, like you said earlier, it's so much stuff coming at us. There's so many different things coming in, things that can disrupt your peace. And I'm just at the place in my life, if anything or anybody, you hear me? Get close to the screen. I'm talking to everybody out there in the virtual world. If anything disrupts your peace, that means it is not for you. You have to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. And it's tough and it's hard. And so that's why meditation will help, because it's not going to be something that you're going to just do overnight. Many of us think meditation is like, sitting in this position, like, a statue. That is not realistic. You can meditate laying down in the bed. You can meditate sitting propped up in a chair with your leg cocked up. You can meditate leaning up against a wall. Meditation looks very different, right? It's not what we think it is. Right. And it's all about finding a comfortable space, relaxing the mind and the body. Music helps. There's guided meditation that's on YouTube.
Yep, I like the little
all of those things.
Yeah.
Just to kind of set the mood and the tone. I love to burn candles too. I would recommend getting a white sage candle. Okay, lighting that candle to get rid of all those bad jujus around you. Yeah. Make sure you have a window open, because when you start releasing stuff, you want that stuff to go out your house or your door. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay?
Absolutely.
But all of that helps you to be healthier, mind, body, and spirit. It's all connected.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, keeping that rolling, how do we, encourage the Black community to, really focus on their mental health, with therapy? They have such a bad notation about therapy, and I tell my kids that I work with, it's okay. Even I be a therapist. I can't help you if I'm not mentally stable. It's okay.
Absolutely.
It's not about getting drugs or being doped up or tied up. And no, it's for somebody you can vent to get out everything that you can't get out to somebody else. Because sometimes our biggest critics are the people around us.
Absolutely.
So you need that mutual person that doesn't, judge you on how you are feeling and can give you really some good advice on where you should go.
No, I completely agree with that. I do think, one, we are our own worst critic, first of all. I think we beat our own selves up a lot too.
Yes.
And like you said, sometimes the people that hurt us the most are the ones that are closest to us. And I'm going to be honest, I think they hurt us because they feel like no matter what they say or what they do, we're going to always be there. And that's a misconception. Because sometimes there are individuals that are in your close circle that may not need to be for a number of reasons, for your mental, right? For your emotions. I have, a person in my family that when I tell you, like, if if you could see it, like my hair stand up on my arm when I
Mm,
talk to this individual, because they just
mm,
completely disrupt my peace. And I don't know if they mean to do it. It's just their tone sometimes.
mhm,
The
mhm.
things that they say can be hurtful, but they really don't really understand that. And they've been told. They've been told. I'm gonna just say this, and they
Okay.
continue to kind of go back to that state. And so for me, I have to keep them at a distance. I love them and I pray for them,
Yes.
but I cannot be around them for an extended period of time because it's just not good for my mental and my emotional health. But I do agree. I think as the Black community, there's this stigma, like you said, there's this stigma about reaching out for mental health support. We look at it like, oh, they gonna think I'm crazy, or or they're not gonna understand. But in other cultures, it's widely recommended, right? It's the norm. You see other cultures of kids that start, having therapists as early as, I don't know, probably coming out the womb. So they normalize it. We
Hmm.
need to normalize mental health in the Black community. We
Yes.
need to let people know it is nothing wrong with reaching out for help for the reasons that you just named,
Mhm.
because we all need somebody to talk to. And sometimes we don't have that in our inner circle. So we
Yep.
have to branch out to a subjective person. No, I'm sorry, objective person, a
Mhm.
person who is not going to judge,
Mhm.
not going to demean, talk about you, bring you down. And it's just going to really listen and hopefully give you some good advice. So I believe that we're starting to have that conversation. We got to continue to have that conversation. And I do believe that mental health is important, especially in the Black community.
Yes. Okay. And lastly, you talked about on one of your videos about couples and them staying together. And the one thing I always say to a lot of people, I feel like a lot of divorces happen because one, lack of communication,
Absolutely.
and two, I feel like people feel like once they meet their husband or their wives that they're not supposed to change or elevate. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean? And so I
Yes.
think when because The Stranger in My House by Tamia is a
Okay.
good
I
song.
love that song, by the way.
Yes. And she kept naming like, okay, he would never do this, he would never do that. But then she said, well, maybe it's me.
Hmm.
Maybe I changed so drastically,
Yes.
and I want more for me, and you
Yep.
remain the same. Like that man, that resonated so hard. I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
instead of communicating, say, hey, babe, I'm on this type of level. What can we do as a couple to grow and keep strong? It's just like, people don't do that.
Agreed.
The
Agreed.
communication. And when I saw that video, I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense because I have a lot of friends who have been with people for so long, and sometimes
Mm.
all you have is all those years.
That's it.
You
But
know,
nothing of substance, right? Because we
right?
haven't elevated and we haven't grown. I completely agree with that. Communication is key. I think communicating what you're wanting, what your needs are, is important. But
Mm-hmm.
I also think that having that fluid conversation, being able to talk about whatever, being able to say, babe, I'm not in a good place, or I don't like where things are with us.
Mm-hmm.
And just being honest about that, right? And I think, like you said, because people have been together for so long, you just kind of look at that like, I've been with this person for 20 years. I'm not about to throw it away. But in that 20 years, what have you accomplished as a couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been some tough times, it's been some hard times, but have you grown from that experience, right? Like, how have you decided to, like you said, elevate yourself? And then what is next for y'all? And then if one of us is doing good and it's kind of moving in this direction, then I want to match, right? I don't want you to come down where we were. I want to get where you are because we're doing this
Absolutely.
as a
Absolutely.
family unit. But I do, first of all, I love love. Now I'm single, but I love love. And
Me
I
too.
believe that my person is out there. I'm going to
Yes.
claim that.
Yes.
Um, but I do believe that so much of why I think couples struggle so much is exactly what you said. It's the lack of communication, lack of willingness to be flexible and adjust. I ain't saying
Yes.
break, but you gotta bend. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? You
Right.
gotta bend a little bit. And
Right.
and that song to me, it definitely resonates with me as well too. That was one of my theme songs, like it's a stranger in my house. But that part that you talked about, which is like looking at yourself, you have to be self-reflective. It ain't always the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if
Right.
other people telling you the same thing, then, you know, you probably got to come back and check and say, like, wait a minute, girl.
Yes.
Such and such and said this. I know I'm not in a relationship with them, but my coworker told me this, and my mama said this to me. Okay, that's 4 people that have told you that, you know, you are coming off in a way that is not flattering, right? And so that means that you got to start looking internal. And guess what? Affirmations, affirming. I am open and receptive to what the universe has for me. Yes. I am open and receptive to advice that's for my good, right? Because you want to be open to that stuff. And that means the things that are not for your good, people that's just saying stuff to be mean and nasty, you're blocking that out. But anything that's going to help you improve or be a better version of you is what you should listen to. And don't take it personal. You got to stop taking things personal.
Yes. Yep. I had to learn it. I had to learn it myself. You can't take it personal.
It's tough though. It's so hard. Oh my God. Because I'll be like, you coming at me, how am I not supposed to take it personal? But it's like, what is the lesson in this? What is the lesson? And then one other thing I want to add too, you know, we often see the same people, but in different people, if that makes sense, right? You often experience the same situations, but with different people. Whether it's I've been dating this kind of guy and I only keep running into this kind of guy, but you got to ask yourself, what is the lesson in that? What is the universe trying to teach you? Yep. Right? You keep running into that same girl. Every time you meet a chick, all she wants is your money. Well, what is the universe trying to tell you? Because all women ain't trying to get the coin from you. You know, some women got their own bag, honey. I secured the bag already. I don't want the money. I want you. We all have to be just very mindful of what it is that we're attracting, right? Because sometimes you keep going through the same thing because you haven't gotten the lesson. So get the lesson so you don't have to repeat that bad situation more than one time. It's too much.
It's too much. So what are we expecting, you know, in the future for your YouTube? What are we expecting for 2021? You know, like I said, I'm gonna keep listening every Monday.
Thank you.
Let people know how they can find you on social media, things of that nature. If they got any questions, comments, or concerns, you know.
Absolutely. So I have some mini projects that I am working on. So the YouTube channel is one, and the YouTube channel is called The Serenity Place, because I just want it to be a peaceful virtual space for people to come and get some motivation, right? So that's why I called it The Serenity Place.
Okay.
But you can also check out my website, which is tinyurl.com/Serenity Place 413. And that has memes and affirmations on there to kind of help people set their intentions. And I also know that some people may have some more serious challenges, like they may be thinking about suicide. So I also have a suicide hotline number as well for individuals who need more than just what that page can offer.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Now, my Instagram page is open, and that is Fate of Legacy on Instagram. And it's pretty much the same thing, me sharing positive messages and things like that. I got some funny stuff on there too.
Okay.
So those are the 3 ways that you can definitely reach out to me. The Serenity Place on YouTube, Serenity Place /413, and then also my Instagram page, Fate of Legacy. And so my upcoming project, I did a mini project for Black History Month. It's going to drop tomorrow, which is February 1st.
Okay.
And it's just a short video. And I wanted to do something in celebration of Black history, but with the pandemic, with the, I guess, blizzard that's outside. It's a hot mess here in Chicago. If y'all watching this in some other place, Chicago is packed with snow right now. So nobody's going outside. But I really wanted to do something to give back to, you know, our people and other people who are really looking to kind of see, like, what should I be aware of? And to me, it's all about raising your awareness. If you know better, you'll do better. And so that's what this video is going to be about tomorrow. It is dropping. But yeah, so reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. I would love to inspire you. If anyone is looking for a personal affirmation reading, you can definitely drop a comment on one of the videos on my channel, and I will absolutely get back to you. And I'm not charging. This is not me making money. I'm just doing this because I just want to, so this is me not trying to make money. This is me just enjoying just being able to create a virtual space for people.
Well, I definitely appreciate you doing this, you know, whatever I got to do to get this out here, because I think it's very important. I wish I would have learned at an earlier age. I think college this would have been great.
Agreed.
This would have been awesome, but you know, you live and you learn. So
Absolutely.
I just want to, spread this out and then give it to the young folks that I work with and let them know, hey, we all going through it. Y'all not the only ones, but
Each and
here,
every last one of us.
yes,
Absolutely.
are here. Well, I appreciate you. Stay safe. If you ain't got to go out, don't go out because this storm. I
Absolutely.
went out
Thank you so much.
earlier to do my car because it was so piled high.
Yes,
And I know
yes. It is
oh,
bad out there.
it's
Yeah.
bad out here. As long as it's not like how it was, what was that, 10 years ago?
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Everything was shut down. It was like 2, 3 feet of snow. It was ridiculous.
yes,
It was rough.
it was
Yeah.
rough. All right, YouTube. Well, this is your girl Pimp. I'm signing off. See you soon.